Like, you want me to raise your husband's fire children? Like what you call me here for? You do it. You want me to love you, but you don't love me now. Why should I give my heart to you? We gonna shut that motor down. I've been searching for you for a long time now, but you've left my heart's vision. Now you want me to stay in your life. That won't happen again. No, you said no. I said no. Can't blame you. No. I like that book. I like that book. It's right beside you now. So my name is Charlie Ray Crawford, and I want to talk about a book here. The author is Kevin Wilson, and the book is Nothing to See Here. This is hot. All right, I'm sweating already. And so I thought this book was extremely fun. Definitely a fun read. It's very humorous. I think every 2 or 3 sentences, it's something. It's humor in it, right? Some type of way they'll make you laugh. You know what I mean? Whether it's by the character monologue or the dialogue or what's going on in her life. I'm here now. You just gonna put that weak ass camera in my face like that? Huh? You never read about me in your elementary school? Huh? The frog and the toad? I'm the toad. I'm the one you should be afraid of, young buck. Huh? You think because you drive them 18-wheelers, I can't punish you with the most pain you would ever feel in your life. You understand? Libby, right here. Lillian and Madison were unlikely roommates and yet inseparable friends at their elite boarding school. But then Lillian had to leave the school unexpectedly in the wake of a scandal, and they've barely spoken since. Until now, when Lillian gets a letter from Madison pleading for her help. Madison's twin stepkids are moving in with her family, and she wants Lillian to be their caretaker. However, there's a catch. The twins spontaneously combust when they get agitated. Flames igniting from their skin in a startling but beautiful way. Lillian is convinced Madison is pulling her leg, but it's the truth. Thinking of her dead-end life at home, the life that has consistently disappointed her, Lillian figures she has nothing to lose. Over the course of one humid, demanding summer, Lillian and the twins learn to trust each other and stay cool, while also staying out of the way of Madison's button-up politician husband. Surprised by her own ingenuity, yet unused to the intense feelings of protectiveness she feels for them, Lillian ultimately begins to accept that she needs these strange children as much as they need her, urgently and fiercely. Just be absolutely normal, okay? And so even if this is the most vague and dismissive title and the most funny and probably sad cover that I ever saw, it was probably one of the most interesting and immersive reads that I ever been involved in, because you have a main character who thinks she has nothing to live for, and I believe all you need is for 2 kids who just simultaneously can combust while being mad. That'll straighten somebody up right there in a heartbeat. I thought the writing and the plot and pacing and everything like that was on par. He was definitely skilled in what he does, because the elaboration of these kids and everybody's understanding of these kids and what type of situation they're going to get into was executed flawlessly. I thought Lillian, the main character, it was believable how she reacted, and even before the kids got there, she asked questions and things like that, and it's a funny quote that I think sums up her entire feeling about, you know, helping out or whatever. Am I sweating? I am sweating. And so you get this character, Lillian, who done something really, you know, she shouldn't have had to do back in a boarding school or whatever for her best friend, Madison. And then all of a sudden, Madison, who is living a life, you know, she got a rich husband and things like that, and his kids is coming to the estate, you know what I mean, to live. And so she kind of want them to stay out of the limelight. The politician husband, you know, messed up right then and there, as you can see. And so Lillian, you know, she needs money and she wants her life to, you know, be something different than living, you know, in the attic of her mother's house. She takes on the challenge. So, you know, we get out there to this, you know, this mansion or whatever, and we start to see, you know, a few of these characters, the servants, and then of course we meet Madison all over again, and we see that she's happy to see Lillian, but, you know, hey, what's going on? Why don't y'all take care of the kids? Why am I taking care of these kids? And what's wrong with the kids? And come to find out, they burst into flames. You get you know, these sort of stereotypes of rich people and how money can fix everything, and you see firsthand how disgusting some of the stuff can be. The main character, you know, a low sense of confidence, definitely a low sense of confidence, and it takes the idea of having these kids to, you know what I mean, allow her to accept the challenge of starting to see something better for herself. Really? You had to pull up so high? So what I thought was cool was watching Lillian grow up right before our eyes, and getting this thing where she can start feeling for others and not so much herself anymore. You know, being so careless to the world, nonchalant. And it takes her looking in the mirror, you know, seeing herself in these kids who goes up in flames for her to get this attribute. And so you see the purpose and the theme right there, for her going through the struggles and sort of caretaking and babysitting these kids. She starts to fight. She starts to stick up for these kids. She starts to put in an effort to do good instead of, you know, just laying around feeling bad for herself. Woe is me with this boring life, or whatever the case may be. I thought it was amazing for to watch her slowly claim them, you know what I mean? And you notice that the messes that they made, it started to become the mess we made, or our mess. She literally started to claim these kids. For the plot and pacing, regardless of if it was too slow or too fast or too long or too short, I thought it was extremely worthwhile for anybody to read it. With every plot point, you know what I mean, it was an extreme mess that went up, but what she was trying to do was finesse and wiggle a little bit of trust onto herself so that these kids can, you know what I mean, slowly see that she's trustworthy, and she can be there to help them through their situation slowly but surely. And it's going to be, you know, no pun intended, a fiery trial that she's going through. So you'll see every plot point, you know what I mean, every scene is her trying to finesse just a little bit of respect and trust from these kids onto her. And it was amazing to see her go from the sort of archetype that she was, being, you know, lazy or careless, and have this challenge put up when nobody else would do it, not even the father or the stepmother. Lillian did this thing back for Madison in grade school or whatever, and I thought it was messed up, man. Madison, she comes off as this perfect person. She's beautiful. She got this rich husband. Everybody wants her life. She walks into a room. Everybody turns her way. You want that light to look towards you or whatever. But I didn't think she was a real good friend to begin with. She seemed like an opportunist to me. And so Lillian was kind of like the best friend that somebody like Madison can have, because while Madison is an opportunist, Lillian is that type of friend who will take the back seat, kind of like, you know, being the footstool for others to rise up. I thought Carl, the protector guy, he was pretty much necessary. He was definitely necessary. He kind of bridged the gap for a lot of scenes, you know what I mean. He was kind of that help. You know, he was a logical thinker. He was buttoned up. He did everything by the books, but he was willing to work with Lillian because he saw that what she was trying to do and everything that she stood for, although it was sloppy and you know, uneducational, you know what I mean, she definitely had her heart in the right place.
And so I like Carl and what he was doing. I thought, you know what I mean, they was going to be a good team from the start, and you know, they just had the good chemistry with each other, even if they didn't like each other in the beginning. The two twin kids, the girl was Bessie, the boy was Roland, and Roland was, even though they was twins, Roland seemed like he was a little bit, you know what I mean, like childish in a sense, and Bessie was like the grown-up of the two. And this story was basically 6 or 7 powerful conversations between Lillian and these kids, mainly Bessie. And Bessie was the one that you had to win over in order to get Roland and to, you know, basically have the kids trust and not burn, you know, the world down. Senator Jasper, of course, the father, he was kind of a caricature. I didn't really feel for him. I wish he had more balls to deal with his children than, you know, the voters or his constituents, his comrades, the people who work in the same field as him. And they had a kid, Madison and Senator Jasper. They had a kid already between themselves named Tim, and I think Tim was a little younger than the twins. But the point is, it was kind of preferential treatment because he didn't burst into flames, you know what I mean, through the story. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You shouldn't treat one kid a certain way and other kids worse than that because they're bad or whatever. Nah, try to show them the same love. So I loved it being first person because Lillian, this main character, you know, she tries to say the right thing. Besides okay, she says okay a lot. She tries to say the right thing, but then in her own head, she speaks out. It's kind of like she's speaking to us, and it's basically what we were thinking, and it's basically covered and wrapped in humor, and it's very, very funny how she gets it across. But the points are always deep and profound.
Stop.
You just act totally normal. How you gonna blow up with success if you can't get the camera in your face?
What? Don't gotta be that close. Get out my way.
Get away your way.
And so I'm gonna jump into the takeaways. I thought it was a good point of showing that it's okay to try to reconnect with old friends that you clicked with, but may have had to separate from due to the circumstances of life. Even if it was something bad, if you feel like it was a spiritual connection there, or you guys click naturally, you might do good to try to reconnect with them because it could probably take you out of a bad situation. Like Lillian, if she would have held a grudge for what she did and did for Madison, and you know what I mean, you know how it helped Madison out, you know what I mean, she wouldn't have had this story and this sort of breakthrough that she needed to get across from the kids. It was Madison's father who sort of paid Lillian's mother to do something for Madison, even though it was Madison's fault. And so how far will you go to protect a friend, right? A real friend, even if it's against your own father. So I thought that was something to think about as well. And so going with that is, it shows you how nuanced we really are. Just because Lillian got kicked out of school for doing something quote unquote bad, and you probably get judged, right? You probably get judged like, oh, blah, 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 not knowing that it might not even be true. She probably did that for a friend. And so how many people in your life do you know may have been falsely bullied, or not falsely bullied, but bullied because of a false pretense or whatever, or just from an assumption and things like that? Man, it just, that opened me up to think about just a lot of people that I know back from school, you know what I mean? Another one is the fact that kids think so one-dimensionally sometimes. Even if it's a tough kid that goes up in flames in the novel, they think so one-dimensional. Like one of the kids, Bessie, she mentioned, you know, if everything don't go right with this Lillian character, we're gonna burn it all down. You know what I mean? Not knowing that Lillian was awake and hearing them, we're gonna burn it all down. So, you know, kids don't think after that. Like, what's the consequences after you burn the house down because your emotions got to you and things like that. So, something we gotta look for as well as parents or guardians. I think the big one for me was sometimes, right, that tragic and sucky past that you have and you loathe just thinking about, and that tears you up inside and made you the person that you are today. It can sometimes be a blessing, you know what I mean? It can help you in your circumstances and situations today, because you know how sucky you know, a bad upbringing can be, or bad parenting can be. And so that would make sometimes make you a better person. Sorry, they're loading me up, by the way, or unloading me, so it's gonna shake. But you know how bad it can be, and so somebody, you know, a kid going through the same situation, it can make you more relatable. You know what I mean? You can be more interpersonal with that kid, and thus have that kid come out of a situation quicker or more efficiently or more gracefully. And so I do have one more takeaway, but I'm gonna save that one after these quotes. And so these quotes kind of wrap up everything, but I want to start with the funny one, man. This was funny, and it kind of wraps up like our whole thought. Like, wait a minute, after you set up the premise and her meeting with Madison, her getting to this estate, her trying to blend in with getting everything that you want, and then you hit me with what you really want me to do. She said, "This is weird, Madison. You want me to raise your husband's fire children." So I thought that was extremely funny. Like, you want me to raise your husband's fire children? Like what you call me here for? You do it. Here's another one. What's the point of money if you can't use it to make people like you? And I like this one by Lillian, and she said this is a secret that she just learned to caring for someone, and I believe this one wholeheartedly. You took care of people by not letting them know how badly you wanted your life to be different. Think about that for a while. I'll say it again. You take care of people by not letting them know how badly you want your life to be different. Sometimes, you know what I mean, you have to understand that this life isn't a fairy tale and it isn't a dream. You get to an age where what you have, you have. Are you going to be content with it or not? Are you going to make the situation better? And so the last quote that I wrote down was, they didn't want to set the world on fire. They just wanted to be less alone in it. Even their parents, you know what I mean, in this story did them dirty, you know what I mean, by not loving them enough, loving them the right kind of way. And so they don't care about specifically hurting people and burning the world down. They want to be accepted so that they don't have to be on fire as much, you know what I mean, because they're hurting or whatever. And so I think my last takeaway comes from that realization, which is these kids who go up in fire. And I wonder if Kevin Wilson was kind of going down this lane. It was kind of a metaphor or a euphemism or whatever the word you may choose for, let's say, troubled kids or bad kids or kids with behavioral issues or whatever. Kids who may be sent away because they can't get right? Who are the kids in your life, or even the teenagers, or just the people in your life who go up in flames? You know what I mean? When they get emotional. And so, how can you combat that? How can you have a metaphorical fire extinguisher to care for them enough? Because sometimes silence is a sort of, you know what I mean, enabler for that kind of behavior. You know what I mean? You need to step in. You need to be ready to take them bruises. Like Lillian was taking a lot of bruises, and she got a lot of scars. And I thought that was a big motif in this story. She was beat up a lot in caring for these kids. And so just a lot of things that I got out of this fantastically plotted, fantastically written, and fantastically executed book. And I'm definitely wanting to read more. I wish it was a little bit longer. The ending was kind of it wasn't rushed. It was just you know, after the climax, you know, that irreversible moment that happened, which was extremely entertaining to read about. I just wanted to be dragged out a little bit more, because you took me from the fun YA read straight into the contemporary serious fiction. Let's go a little bit longer. That's just what I wanted, but it was wrapped up in a bow, relatively easy for you to understand, and it was just enjoyable. I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Where I wanted a little bit more, it was kind of selfishness. You know, you got what you needed. You know what I mean? It was a full glass of water. You don't need 2 cups. You don't need 3 cups. Just take that, stay hydrated, and that's what this book did for you. Fun read, fun summer read. It takes place in the summer, and I wonder who would read this book and get growth from it as well, because I definitely got some growth in myself, and how I look at children who may be troubled, and how I could take myself out of the situation, take what I want out of the situation, and bring a little peace from my calm nature to them and help them through that. Because You know, I, for one, don't believe that our, you know, reward is here on this earth anyway. So, what can you do? What will you do for others while you're here? So, all around fantastic book. You understand me? And so, like I said, 4.5 out of 5. Thank you, Kevin Wilson, for your hard dedication to this book. I learned a lot, and I enjoyed reading the book going down these roads. I'm that way. So, peace. Charleroi out.
Lawyer or anything right here. So tell the people why you like cricket so much, or cry cut, I should say. What is it about cry cut that makes you wake up in the morning and say, you know what? Damn eating, damn showering, I need to go do some cry cut.
It's not cry cut, it's cricket.